Rain covered the windows of Bella's room. She sat quietly on her bed, staring at her phone. 2 messages were waiting. One was from Edward. The other was from Jacob. Edward's message was short. "Meet me tonight. We need to talk." Jacob's message was different. "Whatever happens, you don't have to face it alone." Bella read both messages again. For weeks, she had been trapped between 2 completely different worlds. Edward represented the mysterious world she could never fully understand. Jacob represented something simpler. Safety. Trust. And a friendship that had slowly become something deeper. Bella closed her eyes. She remembered the first time Edward had looked at her. She remembered the strange connection she felt whenever he entered a room. But then she remembered Jacob. He had never tried to control her choices. He never asked her to become someone else. He simply stayed. And suddenly Bella understood something. She had been so fascinated by Edward that she had forgotten to ask herself what she actually wanted. Her fingers moved across the screen. She typed a message to Edward. "We need to talk." Then she stopped. She deleted it. Instead, she typed 3 words. "I'm choosing Jacob." She pressed send. And for the first time in weeks, Bella felt free. Edward was standing beneath the trees when Bella arrived. The rain had stopped, but the forest was still covered in mist. Edward looked at her. "You made your decision." Bella nodded. "I did. You don't understand what you're giving up." Bella looked into his eyes. "Maybe I don't." Edward stepped closer. "You could have a life with me that nobody else could offer." Bella shook her head. "That's exactly what scares me." Edward became silent. Bella continued. "I don't want my entire life to revolve around something I don't understand." Edward looked away. For the first time, he realized Bella was not afraid of losing him. She was afraid of losing herself. "Is it Jacob?" he finally asked. Bella nodded. Edward gave a quiet smile. "I always knew he cared about you." Bella looked surprised. "You knew?" "I could see it." Edward turned toward the forest. "Just remember something, Bella." She waited. "The world you're stepping into is dangerous." Bella nodded. "I know." Edward looked back at her. "And if Jacob ever needs help, I'll help him." Bella never expected those words. Edward Cullen was letting her go. Jacob was waiting near the beach. Bella walked toward him slowly. He immediately noticed something was different. "You talked to Edward?" Bella nodded. Jacob looked nervous. "What did you tell him?" Bella smiled. "The truth." Jacob waited. "I chose you." He stared at her. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Jacob smiled. "You don't have to choose me because you're afraid of Edward." "I'm not." "Then why?" Bella looked toward the ocean. "Because when I'm with you, I don't feel like I have to become someone else." Jacob smiled. "That's all I ever wanted." They walked along the beach. But neither of them noticed the figure watching them from the forest. Edward. He had promised himself he would leave. But something had changed. The future he had once seen for Bella was disappearing. And a different future was beginning. Days passed. Bella and Jacob became closer. But strange things started happening around Forks. Animals disappeared from the forest. People reported hearing strange noises at night. Then one evening, Bella noticed Jacob behaving differently. He was angry. His hands were shaking. "Jacob, what's happening?" "Nothing." "You're lying." He looked at her. "You shouldn't be here." Bella frowned. "What does that mean?" Jacob took a step back. "You chose me without knowing the truth." Bella's heart started beating faster. "What truth?" Jacob finally told her. He wasn't simply the boy Bella thought he was. There was another world hidden around Forks. A world of creatures Bella had never imagined. Jacob was connected to that world. And now Bella was connected to it too. Bella stared at him. So Edward was right. Jacob lowered his head. "About some things." Bella stepped closer. "But you never lied to hurt me." "No." "Then I'm staying." Jacob looked at her. "You don't know what you're saying." Bella smiled. "I chose you before I knew the truth." She took his hand. "Knowing the truth doesn't change my choice." That night, something appeared in the forest. 3 strangers. They had been watching Forks for days. They were looking for Bella. Edward discovered them first. He immediately went to Jacob. "We have a problem." Jacob looked at him. "I thought you left." "I did." Edward looked toward the forest. But they didn't. Bella suddenly appeared behind them. "What is happening?" Edward and Jacob exchanged a glance. Edward finally said, "They came for you." Bella froze. "Why?" "Because you're connected to both worlds now." Jacob stepped in front of Bella. Edward stood beside him. For the first time, the two rivals were fighting on the same side. The strangers emerged from the darkness. Their leader smiled. "You have no idea what you've started, Bella Swan." Bella looked at Jacob. Then at Edward. She realized her decision had created something neither of them expected. A war. The forest erupted into chaos. Jacob fought to protect Bella. Edward moved faster than anyone could see. Bella ran through the trees, trying to escape. But the leader caught up with her. "You chose the wrong world." Bella looked at him. "No." She turned. "I chose my own life." Jacob suddenly appeared behind him. The fight was brutal. Edward joined Jacob. For a moment, they fought together. The leader was finally defeated. Silence returned to the forest. Jacob immediately ran toward Bella. "Are you okay?" Bella nodded. Then she looked at Edward. He stood several feet away. Bella walked toward him. Edward smiled. "I told you I'd help." Bella looked at him. "I thought choosing Jacob meant losing you completely." Edward shook his head. "Sometimes choosing one person doesn't mean you have to hate another." Bella smiled. For the first time, there was no confusion between them. Only acceptance. Months later, Forks became quiet again. Bella and Jacob stayed together. Their relationship wasn't perfect. They argued. They disagreed. They were afraid sometimes. But they were honest. And Bella discovered something she had never understood before. Love wasn't always about finding the most mysterious person in the room. Sometimes love was about finding the person who stayed when everything became difficult. Edward eventually left Forks. But before leaving, he gave Bella one final message. "You made the choice I couldn't make for you." Bella smiled. "What choice?" "To choose the life you actually wanted." Years later, Bella would remember that rainy night. The night she had 2 messages on her phone. The night she could have chosen Edward. But instead, she chose Jacob. And that single decision created an entirely different story. A story where Bella didn't become part of Edward's world. She created a world of her own. And perhaps that was the real ending. Bella Swan didn't choose the person who seemed impossible to forget. She chose the person who made her feel like herself. And in this fictional version of the story, that choice changed everything.